cut the legs off of our pants, threw our shoes into the ocean.
In my opinion, the second best game this weekend is number 8 West Virginia at Texas number 11.
That will be an exciting game. West Virginia, extremely hot right now. Texas also doing just as good. You've got the number 1 rated QB versus the number 2 rated QB, and you've got some 2 pretty good defenses. But West Virginia's offense just too powerful. They win 45-28.
I agree that West Virginia wins. Big 12. When's the last time you heard of a good defense in the Big 12? And not in recent years. Last week, Geno Smith checked to a play at the line of scrimmage that wasn't even in the game plan, and they scored a touchdown off of it. This guy is smart. He is more than just a big arm. He understands the game. Texas has a veteran defensive ends, but in the center of the defensive line and their linebackers, young. I just don't think they're going to be able to stop the wide receivers coming across the middle. But the reason West Virginia will win this game is because yards after the catch. Stedman Bailey and Tavon Austin are really underappreciated because everybody looks at Geno Smith because he's got passing yards. Yards after the catch are the reason Geno Smith has those passing yards. You can throw it 20 yards. Tavon Austin's going to run it the other 80. It's a given. I just think that West Virginia can win 56-49, high-scoring shootout, but West Virginia holds out.
So nobody's picking Texas. All right, neither am I, okay? I got West Virginia winning 45-31. Geno Smith, okay, 656 yards, 8 touchdowns, 6 incompletions, 8 touchdowns. That's nothing to mess with. He's the Heisman frontman right now. He's going to have to lose the Heisman race, okay? They're looking good. Tavon Austin, and they got guys everywhere, okay? They have arguably the best receiving corps in the nation. That helps Geno Smith a lot. But, like I said, 656 yards, 8 touchdowns, and he didn't even win Player of the Week. He didn't even get the game ball. Their center did. So their offensive line is stacked. When the center gets it over somebody with those kind of numbers, that's saying something, that the center would get that. So, obviously, the coaching staff knows the strong points offensive line. But I think Texas could give them troubles because they have All-Americans at the defensive end position. That they could, I don't think they will, but there's a chance that they could get in there and disrupt things a little. Because, they have the capability since they're All-Americans. So I think they can disrupt things a little. But West Virginia's offensive line, if Texas doesn't put pressure on them consistently, then, West Virginia will put points up. But West Virginia's defense isn't good by any means. And David Ash is the second best QBR in the nation, but then again, first is Geno Smith, the other side of the ball. So it'll be a battle, but like I said, 45-31, West Virginia wins this one.
Why would you say Geno Smith is the Heisman frontrunner when you look at it? Stedman Bailey, or should I say Studman Bailey, is owning the position of wide receiver this year. He is probably one of the best players in college football with yards after the catch. He turns nothing into something. You look at the pass plays, very rarely do you see Geno Smith airing the ball out 50 yards into the actual end zone. He's throwing it 10, 15 yards. The routes are made for the receivers' yards after the catch. I just don't believe that you can call Geno Smith the Heisman frontrunner. I agree he is the best quarterback in the NCAA this year, or as of right now. But the real reason for this team to be anything is their wide receivers with Tavon Austin and Stedman Bailey.
When's the last time 2 guys from the same team have gone to New York to go to the Heisman? It's not going to happen. Geno Smith is more known. It's a popularity contest, that Heisman thing. First of all, if you don't make a championship, you don't have a chance. That's what it comes down to. It's not the best player in the country anymore. It's the best player on the best team. And, I think West Virginia has a chance. They have a chance. But Geno Smith is the front runner because he 656 yards. Bailey is really good, but 2 players from the same team won't make it to New York. That's just realistic. They won't make it to New York. So, Geno Smith has more popularity than Bailey does. Geno Smith is more known. Everybody loves Geno more.
I've never been a fan of quarterbacks getting yards after the catch. I've always been a fan of when they catch it, that's how many yards they receive. But going back to what you said, did you not remember that RG3 won the Heisman and didn't even come close to going to the national championship? So it doesn't take a great team to get the Heisman. It takes a great player.
All I'm saying is if you cut out yards after the catch out of Geno Smith's numbers this season, you could easily divide it in half. And you would not be saying everything you're saying.
there were
touchdowns.
3 or 4 broken coverages last week, at least, where he just aired it over the defense, and they were wide
about
open.
25 yards, and then they ran it the rest of the way.
It was pretty good yards.
And another question is, who gets credit for the actual touchdown? The receiver who caught it or the quarterback who threw it? So you can't say, look, Stedman Bailey leads the school's all-time leading receptions and touchdowns because of one game last week. How many did he have? 5 of the 8 touchdowns?
Probably.
Studman Bailey is the best player on that football team.
The quarterback,
He's the best player on that football team.
The quarterback gets the credit for the touchdown if it's thrown into the end zone. If it's thrown outside of the end zone, then it's the receiver, the running back's
What if
credit.
he runs like a simple hitch or something, and there's nobody there, and then the quarterback feeds it a simple slant or something to feed him and give him space to work with?
Well, that's the quarterback's recognition.
Yeah, I mean, it gets credit to the quarterback.
But think about the running of the play. The receiver gets the ball. What does the quarterback do once it gets in the receiver's hands? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he finds a guy. I understand. The receiver gets the credit because he gets open. I get that. But at the end of the day, okay, Tavon Austin, you haven't even talked about him much. You talked about him a little, but Tavon Austin, without Tavon Austin out there, he opens up everything. If it was just Stedman Bailey out there, yeah, he'd still get yards, but he wouldn't get as much because they have to really cover Tavon Austin. If it wasn't for Tavon Austin, Bailey wouldn't be as open. Baylor's defense was bad. Okay? But I just think, West Virginia, they're just going to put up points on everybody. So I just feel like you got to give Geno Smith the majority of the credit because he's quarterback.
I agree about Tavon Austin. I think he has the best vision as a wide receiver running down the field. He turns nothing into something. You want to talk about a guy who can do the tightrope walk down the sideline and stay in. I've never seen anybody with his balance, his coordination, his speed. You take Stedman Bailey, Tavon Austin, they start for any team in the country. They are probably two of the best receivers in the NCAA.
Geno Smith's QBR is 208.4. Second, which I said was David Ash, 184. That's a huge jump. You don't see those numbers. And yeah, Bailey has a lot. Also.
All right, and finally we'll talk about game day. Georgia number 5 at South Carolina number 6.
Everybody knows this is going to be one exciting game. It's in Columbia. It's game day. It's going to be exciting. It's 5 versus 6. And even without Bennett, I still think Georgia has enough firepower to pull out the win 24-20.
I disagree with that. I know you talk about Georgia's freshman running back tandem, Gurley and Marshall. They are the best running back tandem in the country, arguable with Oregon. Oregon's got a good running game, but Georgia's got the power running game. It's going to be hard. But the thing nobody really realizes is that South Carolina's strong point on defense is the running game. You look at Jadeveon Clowney coming in. He's played defensive tackle, middle linebacker, and his starting position defensive end this season. He is a man among boys. He is out there. His numbers are insane. And he's coming off his freshman year. He's coming in his sophomore year, and he's number 1 player on the defense. And then you got the other side. You got Devin Taylor. He's 6'8", 280 pounds. This guy's going to... 2 first-round draft picks coming in on the sides. And you got a rotation. The defensive line's deeper than any defensive line I can name in the NCAA. That's what I think their strong point is. But you look at Aaron Murray, passing game. If any weak point on that South Carolina defense is their secondary. They're young. You got... few players. Jimmy Legree, sophomore, coming and starting at corner. He's made mistakes this year. Aaron Murray's playing the best football of his career.
But Aaron Murray has never beat a ranked team.
That's tough. Aaron Murray, he's smart. The only reason people are saying he won't go high in the draft is because of his height, but I don't think that matters. Look at Russell Wilson coming in, short player, playing great quarterback. That's what Aaron Murray is. He's just like Russell Wilson. He's explosive. He recognizes coverage. Yeah, he makes mistakes, but what quarterback doesn't? That's probably one key to the game for South Carolina is to establish running game and for Connor Shaw not turn the ball over with interceptions. He's got to get the passing game going. As I've noticed watching games this season for South Carolina, he's indecisive. He's more comfortable running the ball. It gets the job done sometimes, but that Georgia defense is strong. I just feel like that South Carolina is going to pull away the game. I think they got it 28-24.
Is it my turn to talk now? All right. Georgia. They have two good halfbacks. They will run the ball. But this so-called powerful defense let, 44 Tennessee? Tennessee scored 44, is that right?
That's right.
No, that's not good. That's not the Georgia defense that we've been accustomed to the years, okay? Connor Shaw, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to put up Heisman numbers, okay? He will just put up he'll complete the ball, okay? Little stuff. He will do what it takes to win football games, okay? I mean, that's what you ask for. Spurrier Spurrier's not going to ask for Shaw to throw it like 50 yards down there every play. He just wants a little thing. They have this guy named Marcus Lattimore. He will run it down Georgia's throats, okay? Like, Georgia's going to put the fight. They have two halfbacks, okay? Aaron Murray is a really good quarterback. He can protect the ball. I got South Carolina winning by 4. 24-20, South Carolina.
Oh, that's funny. 24-20, Georgia over here. I honestly think, look at Connor Shaw. The past 2 games, he's had 7 incompletions in 2 games against Missouri. Missouri was a team that competed with Georgia to the 4th quarter. Georgia finally pulled away. They were never in the game with South Carolina. The only reason they had a touchdown in that game was because South Carolina put in all their second string, even down to the 3rd string defensive line. That's how deep they are on the defensive line. Their defense is just insane. They're only letting up an average of 11.1 points per game this season. That is something that's almost impossible to... I mean, those numbers are insane. The only team better would be Alabama. And, well, Alabama's on a whole different level than most teams in the NCAA. But that's what these two teams are playing for Saturday. What we think is going to happen, the chance to play Alabama in the SEC Championship. This game, it puts the season on the line for the two teams. In a way, either one has the driver's seat of the SEC East. It's a game that you can't afford to lose if you're South Carolina or Georgia. It's going to make your season right here.
South Carolina won't lose if they don't give up the big plays. Georgia's not going to pound them and just consistently pound them, and South Carolina's just not going to do anything. If South Carolina gives up big plays, then of course Georgia will win, okay? I don't think they will, mainly because the two guys up front, Clowney and Taylor, they will put pressure on Murray and make him make not the smartest decisions that he usually would make because he's going to be pressured all night. I mean, Clowney's going to have a huge game. It'll be that defense. And I think going into that Williams-Brice Stadium at night will be a huge factor in this one. And it'll be crazy. That's why I got South Carolina winning, mainly because of this guy, Steve Spurrier.
Wow, I'm bringing in props now.
Props.
Now, I will admit, Steve Spurrier, one of my favorite coaches in the NCAA. He runs that team like it's a business. He doesn't get attached. He always knows the right call to make. You very rarely see him doing what we'd call stupid play calling. He's very secure with the ball. His whole game plan with Connor Shaw, which is completely opposite of Steve Spurrier we've seen at Florida, it's game control. For South Carolina to win this game, the time of possession has to be in their hand. They got to control the running game. I'm talking every time you get the ball, you got to be wasting 3 to 5 minutes off the clock, driving the ball down the field and getting points anytime. Any points are good points. Field goals will win this game. Field goals are going to be a game changer. You can't afford missed field goals. Carolina's kicking game has not been tested this season. It's going to be a tough one. But Steve Spurrier might be one of the main reasons South Carolina will win this game.
On one last note, there's just really no advantage to either team. I mean, it's hard to say one has a distinct advantage over the other.
I agree.
Everything offsets. You got Georgia's great running game. South Carolina's got a great running defense.
Whoever gets that one big play will win this game. That's what it'll come down to. Because I don't think any team will dominate the other team by any means. It'll come down to that one big play. Whoever gets it, that's who wins this game.
I see it coming down to that call by the official that you're going to hear fans complaining about. But that's what it usually comes down to in this game. Like last year, it was a shootout. Nobody expected it to be a shootout. 45-42. This year, you could easily see it being a 17-6 game like it was 2 years ago in Columbia. You just never know. But there's one thing to say. Marcus Lattimore has never played a bad game against Georgia. Freshman year, it was his coming out party. He rushed for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last year, put up very similar numbers. this defense and Mark Richt, they have not figured out how to stop Marcus Lattimore. And if they don't Saturday, I think South Carolina will control the game and win it.
Thank you for joining us on this college football segment of the Diplomat Sports, and we hope you have a good day.